Alright guys, we are going to draw our own Calavera in honor of Dia de los Muertos, but before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit about symmetry. We're going to be creating balance on our Calavera with all our designs by using symmetry. Now symmetry is when something is the same on both sides. So like if I were to cut this heart in half, this side is the same as this side. That kind of imaginary line is called the line of symmetry. Same, if I were to cut that triangle in half, this side is the same as this side. Now, symmetry can go multiple ways, but today we're just going to talk about vertical symmetry. So when we divide it up and down, like that, the left side is the same as the right side. And this is also true for the face. If I divide it in half, this side matches this side. Got an eye, got an eye. Got half of a nose, got the other half of the nose. Half of the lips, the other half of the lips. So one thing I want you to take note of is on the face, if something is in the line of symmetry, it's half of each side. So for example, I don't have two noses. I have half of one here, half of one on the other, and the two halves match. Now the eyes do not fall on the line of symmetry, so I have two eyes. Same with my ears. My ears do not fall on the line of symmetry, so I have two. So we're gonna go ahead and draw a Calavera. So I'm gonna start by dividing my paper in half. That's gonna be my line of symmetry. And to help me draw this, I'm gonna divide it in half the other way too. I am going to take my pencil and I want my Calavera to take up the page. So I'm gonna use these guidelines to help me. I'm gonna start at the very edge of this bottom line and I'm gonna make like a curve, like a little arc that goes up to this top line. So it's just a curve. It's not way in here. It's towards the outside of the lines. So I wanna get towards the edge of the paper. Now I'm just gonna mirror it on this side. I'm gonna make my arc come back down to that line. So that's gonna be the top of my skull. Now, the bottom part of my Calavera, skulls do not have your big squishy cheeks. If you wanna take a second and actually feel your cheeks, you'll feel there's not bone there. So there's actually kind of an indent where the cheeks are. So the jaw is gonna really come in and go down to the bottom. So instead of curving out this time I'm kind of curving up and in. And I'm gonna mimic the same thing on the other side so that I've got symmetry up and in. So this is gonna be the shape of my skull. Now, we're gonna add eyes, a nose, and our mouth, but they're gonna be a little bit different because we're not drawing a face, we're drawing a Calavera or a skull. So if you take your hands and you actually feel where the bone is around your eyes, you'll be able to feel that your eye socket's actually a lot bigger than your actual eyeballs. So we're gonna use a circle tracer to help us get a nice big eye socket. So I'm gonna trace it on the outside. Now it's gonna be over here. It's gonna be on my middle line. This is gonna just generally help me get a big enough shape. Then I'll just put my other eye on the same spot on the other side. Hold my little circle tracer down. Thicken that in. Okay. Now to draw the nose. If you feel your nose is all cartilage. It's actually no bone. So we are just going to kind of use a triangle to help us draw the empty spot because your nose is actually not part of your skeleton. It is not bone. So when you're a skeleton, it's not there. Same thing with your lips and your cheeks. They are not bone. So when you are drawing a skeleton, they are not there. Your teeth, however, are bones. So I like to kind of do a bumpy line that just goes across and then one that mirrors it on the bottom. And these are gonna become the teeth for my Calavera. Now, you do not have to do it exactly like me. You can come up with your own design, that's fine, but that's basically how to draw a skull. Now, remember, these are not supposed to be scary. Dia de los Muertos is not Mexican Halloween. It's a time to celebrate and remember loved ones who have moved on. So now it's our job to add some fun decorations and patterns to this Calavera to make it festive. When we add these patterns and decorations, we are going to follow the rules of symmetry. So whatever happens on one side is also going to happen on the other side. So if I do a flower petal design over here on this side, I'm going to come over here and mirror that on the other side. Now, we talked about the line of symmetry. If something's on the line of symmetry, remember there's not two of them. So I could put something on the line of symmetry, maybe. I'll put a nice big heart on there. Okay, so anything that happens in the middle is just two halves. Anything that happens off on the side needs to be repeated on the other side. Alright guys, so this is where we're going to kind of stop today. I have my Calavera that is symmetrical on both sides, so whatever I did to one side, I also did to the other. It is big, it takes up the space. Hold on to this and save it. Next week we're going to talk about adding color.